Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to the Chubby Healer, where I make your healing journey easier and fun for you. Today's topic is all about shadow work. What is shadow? How do you understand that your shadow is overtaking your conscious thinking and you're acting from a place of your shadow, right? And also, help you out with shadow work. Firstly, let's get to the point of understanding what shadow is. To tell you what shadow is in layman's language, it is just your unconscious. Every feeling, every emotion, every situation, every circumstance that you never processed fully and just suppressed it, thinking that, it does not matter, it happens to everybody, or something where somebody, be it your caregivers, be it your parents, be it your significant other, if they hurt you, and you never really stood up for yourself, or if you never really processed the hurt, you have shadows. You have shadows that you might want to deal with, but definitely have to. You see, shadows are not bad. Shadows just show you the pieces of you, the parts of you that really need your attention, really need your love. And that is it, right? So let's start with explaining what shadow is in more detail, because just saying that shadow is your unconscious is not going to be enough for a lot of you. Shadow is all of those emotions, all of those negative emotions, greed, jealousy, anger, frustration. Those emotions that you do not understand why they exist within you, why they come out the way they do, and why in the first place did you have to be so angry. Sometimes there are situations, not even sometimes, I'm pretty sure about it, when you disproportionately react to people, you disproportionately react to a certain situation, and you ask yourself that, this reaction was not warranted for. What triggered me so much that I'm here, right? And to make this journey easier for you further, let me tell you that shadow work is nothing more than your trauma healing work. Acknowledging your acknowledging your shadows is basically you acknowledging your trauma, the story that you never really processed, but just went I'll suppress it in my unconscious, or I'll just forget about it and not care about it. Honey, you don't forget anything that hurts you. You don't forget anything significant that impacts you. Remember that. No matter how many times you say, oh, that's over, I'm over it, until and unless you have processed that situation, processed the emotions that you had in that moment, you are never over that situation. Okay? And I'm telling this from a place of experience. I have been there, I have done that. And what happens when you don't integrate your shadow is that you start blaming others. You start blaming everything on the outside world, and you go that's your fault. You triggered me to do it. Why did you get triggered? I mean, they might have done anything to trigger you, but if you are the person who's getting triggered, if you are the person who's giving that reaction, then honey, you gotta ask yourself, why did I react that way? What feeling came that I had to react like this? And what story am I telling myself or is attached to my triggers that I can't control it? Shadow work is all about questioning your anger, questioning your frustration, questioning your jealousy as to why are you there, and showing it love, showing it so much compassion that you wanted at that particular point, which actually hurt you. For example, if you see somebody on Instagram who is very successful, going for 6-figure, brand launches, they have more than 100 clients, and you feel really, really jealous. You go I used to know this person. That person was right with me. How could they be so successful and I can't be? Honey, when you start doing this, when this jealousy hits in, where is this coming from? This is coming from that place, that part of your shadow that consists of that equal potential. You know, the person in front, that potential is within you, is within your shadow. And you get frustrated when you see outside because you don't allow yourself to do all of those things. You don't allow yourself to actually go beyond your limits and achieve that. And when you see somebody else getting that, you question them. You get angry with them. You get angry that why are you doing it when I am not doing it? When I'm not so bold like you, why are you bold? Why are you so bold? And that is why you get so jealous. It is not because they are doing better than you. Yeah, I mean, might be somewhere, but it is more about you not doing what you are here for, you not doing what you really want to do. The more you get jealous of somebody, the more it is an indicator for you that you possess equal skills, equal potential, or more so, more than them in your own unique way. But you're not giving it voice. You're not giving it a space to come out. You're not giving it the love it deserves. And therefore, you're just letting your shadow take over. You're letting your shadow come out in the most negative of ways. I'm sorry. Tell me one time when jealousy worked out for you. It never does. It just gives you all those sad thoughts, sad feelings, negative emotions, right? Let's take another example, anger. When you get angry disproportionately on a very trivial thing that does not even signify so much in your life, you usually blame the person in front that it is because of you that I got angry, or it is because of so much work in my life and me not having time for myself that I disproportionately responded. Stop giving yourself those stupid reasons. No. You disproportionately responded because you did not deal with the anger within you that exists, that wants you to acknowledge it, that wants you to see it the way it is and give it love, because it never received love. The anger within you has never received love. It has only received criticism. The more you suppress your anger, the more you invalidate your anger by saying that, you know what, you deserved it, or it was because of you that I did it, or more like, I was stupid to be so angry, it was not that big. Stop invalidating your anger, stop invalidating your shadows. If you were that angry and you know you were at fault, just say sorry, come back, sit with yourself and see where that anger was coming from. For me, my anger, whenever it comes out, it's usually because my fear of abandonment kicks in a lot. And the moment my fear of abandonment kicks in, or my fear of not being connected to people kicks in, I lose it. And it comes out in very weird ways, okay? Like, there is no single way that it comes out in. It comes out on the people I love in the weirdest and the most toxic of ways. Because I never told myself, I never told my fear that, you know what? You're not abandoned. I'm here for you. You are not somebody who people avoid, but you are somebody who avoids others by doing certain things. For me, my shadow of anger used to come up a lot because of the fact that I never really accepted myself for who I was. I never showed up for myself the way I expected others to show up for me. I realized that I loved to control a lot of things that were out of my control, that were not even in my control. And I absolutely loved to be depressed about things, over things which were not in my control. And sometimes in my career, there were times where I got really pissed because I thought that I knew work-life balance so well, but I never did, honestly, because I merged my personal life with my professional life because of the connections that I lacked in my personal life. I wanted to make that up in my professional life by having those connections. But guess what? It was my shadow. It was my fear. It was my inner child screaming to have that human connection, screaming to have that attention, screaming to have that love, to have that validation, to have that, those groups that people outside have. But guess what? It did not turn out that well. It came down all on me. I literally connected with the worst of people. I connected with people who were greedy, who were weird in their own ways. And I call those people my friend. Because I lacked boundaries. Because I did not know myself. Because I did not know how much love I deserved. And it is okay. It is okay to have those people in your life for you to understand that they are not supposed to be there. In our lives, whatever is around in our environment is our own projection. Literally, everybody out there in our environment is our projection. Projection of our fears, projection of our success, projection of our shadows. And the best way that you can start your shadow work is just by looking around, take a look around and just see what all triggers you. While you see what all triggers you, also acknowledge why they trigger you and the positive aspects in them. For example, in my environment, there can be person A who triggers me because they are too clingy. And I have had a very bad experience where I was clingy because I was insecure back then, because I wanted that person to love me so bad that I became way too clingy. And I realized that that does not work out. And when I see somebody being clingy with me, that's a trigger. That was a trigger for me. But I realized that being clingy is not bad. It's okay. If somebody is being clingy with me, they have their own set of insecurities that I don't have to point out to them. But at the same time, I know that I want better. I deserve better. And if that person, clingy person, is in front of me, is in my attention circle, then there is some part of me that I still need to give attention to. Because when I used to be clingy, I used to hate myself for being clingy. I used to be so harsh with myself for being clingy because I was like, oh my God, this is not me. I don't like being clingy. And then I realized that I never dealt with it. That relationship came to an end. My conversations changed. My narratives changed. And I realized that I never actually sat down and told myself that you were clingy because you wanted love, because you wanted attention, and you did not get it there. So you dealt with that situation with the best that you could, and being clingy was your answer back then. It's okay. I love you for being clingy. I love you for who you were. But at the same time, right now, in this moment, in the present moment, I am no longer you. I'm no longer that version of me where I love being clingy. Because being clingy is not something I would like with my own relationships. Then why would I give that same energy outside by being clingy with others? Being clingy is basically your fear of abandonment. Being clingy is basically your fear of not being good enough. Your fear of losing people out. All of those things are fine, but not telling yourself that it was okay for you to be that way is way more harmful. Because that comes out in your shadow self. That comes in your shadow and comes out in the most negative of ways that you don't like and that you feel is misaligned with yourself. And I did not have this knowledge back then that I can ask myself, I can talk to myself, I can tell my own self. I only thought that others can tell me how amazing I am. Only others can give me that validation because self validation did not exist. And to do shadow work, you have to give yourself a lot of validation and be okay with it. Know that your validation is the only validation you want because nobody out there will know you as amazingly as you know yourself. Okay? And just keep this in mind that if your reaction is hysterical, then it is historical. Honestly. Because the moment you turn hysterical, be it in jealousy, be it in greed, be it in anger, be it in any form, the moment you get hysterical, it is historical. Because being hysterical is not really something that people relate to in a positive way. So, whatever you're relating to in a negative way, just know that it is very historical and you might have to dig deep, okay? There are certain shadow work tools like journaling, meditation, breath work, a lot of things out there, but the ones that I would suggest is morning writing. The moment you wake up, just keep a paper and a pen besides your, on your bedside table, get up, and whatever conscious thought you have in that moment, just write it down. You don't have to have a flow, you don't have to have a beginning or ending or anything, you just need to write. Write whatever thought is in your head, write whatever feeling you have, that is it. And the moment you've done it, just sit, read it, and make sure you're writing 3 pages, okay? Because morning writing requires 3 pages. The moment you're done with it, read it. And once you're done reading it, see what you want to take ahead with yourself in the day and the things that you don't want to take ahead with yourself in the day. You'll know how to deal with them because the moment you see something you don't want to take ahead in the day with yourself, you will know why. And if that why is good enough for you, you don't need anybody else's validation. It's okay. Go ahead. Do it. And the second tool that I recommend apart from morning, writing is expressive writing. Just sitting and writing about your feelings. Take 5 minutes, 10 minutes in a day, sit with yourself and just write that what are you feeling? What have you felt throughout the day or what are you doing? This usually helps you in situations where you're very sad, when you feel, oh my god, what is happening? Or the best time to do it is at night, right before sleeping, because then you understand whatever you felt. You see, you just know why you felt it and you make your peace with it, and then you go off to sleep and see how amazing the next day is. These 2 tools are very, very important. Writing does help you a lot. And apart from that, if writing is very difficult for you, make these videos for yourself. Just open your camera up and record videos of yourself, those journaling videos where you don't have to write but you can just talk to yourself. And please make sure you're doing it in a safe space. You're not doing it in a space where you're like, oh my god, somebody will walk in and think that I'm crazy. You won't be authentic. Then your real self will not come out. So make sure whenever you're doing this, it's in an enclosed room, okay? And thirdly, please do meditation. Meditation works like chef's kiss. It is amazing. Meditation is something that will help you. Because it will. I don't have to give you a because. If you want the because, I'm going to have sessions with you. I'm going to get a workshop out. We're going to do it there. But right now, just meditate. And 4th tool for shadow work, what do you think it can be? Drum roll. The 4th tool for shadow work is just questioning yourself. That what am I feeling right now? Why am I feeling like this right now? What is the story behind it? Where is this connecting to? What fear is this connecting to? And is that fear even valid? I mean, is it? Because honestly, whenever it comes to fears, I just feel those fears are disguises of our potential. Fear of abandonment only happens when you are somebody who knows It's easy for you to make connections, but they don't last. And you want them to last. But do you realize that connections, they change just like your life changes? So why do you want to live in that humanly facades concept of permanency? Stability is different than permanency, okay? But accepting that change is a part of you, your shadow work journey is going to be very easy. But however, ask these 4 questions to yourself. What am I feeling? Why am I feeling? What story am I associating with this feeling? And what is the flip side of it? Whatever story I'm telling myself right now after these 3 questions, the 4th question is about pivoting that perspective of yours and giving yourself a flip side, the opposite possibility that is somewhere out there, that can be a possibility, which is strong, which is good, which is on a positive note, and you give yourself that. And then you make the choice. Am I going to stick to the story that I have been telling to myself, or am I going to choose this better reality for me? And that's it. That is shadow. That is shadow work. Shadow is all of your suppressed emotions, all of your suppressed memories, all of your suppressed experiences in your unconscious. Your unconscious is your shadow. Your trauma work is your shadow work. And honey, if it is hysterical, it is historical. I hope this stays with you. I hope this video really helps you. Big hugs to you. Big kisses to you. And I really hope that you and I can have a conversation soon.